With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
We are the Skinner Brothers. Most folks only need a lawyer once or twice in their lives. And when they're injured or in an accident, most people don't know what to do. We get it. It can be overwhelming.
Nobody likes to be told, you need a lawyer. But that's why we're here. We want to get you back to your normal life and help you recover.
So if you or a loved one has been in an accident, give us a call. Let us figure out how we can get you compensation.
Reach us at SkinnerWins.com or Google Skinner Lawyers. We'll treat you like family.
A new WVU Heart and Vascular Institute is now open in Martinsburg, offering 10,000 square feet of clinic space with exam rooms, procedure rooms, diagnostic capabilities, and a dedicated patient entrance waiting area. At the WVU Heart and Vascular Institute, our board-certified physicians are performing groundbreaking procedures using cutting-edge techniques to provide world-class healthcare close to home. Visit the expanded WVU HVI Clinic on the Berkeley Medical Center campus, a department of Berkeley Medical Center.
The following is a special sports broadcast presentation of Talk Radio WRNR Martinsburg.
Play ball! It's time for the excitement of American Legion Baseball, featuring the Berkeley Post-14 Hornets.
The next pitch to Baden Hartman is cracked out to deep left field. That ball is going, gone! A 3-run homer!
Let's go live to the field and join our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team.
Welcome back to P.O. Faulkner Park this afternoon for Game 2 of a doubleheader between Vienna Post 180 and the Berkeley Post 14 Hornets. I'm Colin McLaughlin for Talk Radio WRNR and TV10. Alongside me is Dylan Bishop. Our cameraman this game's Nick Verzolini. Back at the studio is Spencer Dupuis. It was an impressive comeback victory for Post 14 in Game 1 as they look to take the doubleheader sweep in Game 2, and starting for Post 14 will be Lane DeLauder as he's made his return from watching his brother Chase DeLauder make his minor league debut in Ohio yesterday and has just came back today.
Yeah, so he came back, kind of showed up during Game 1, which kind of our hypothesis was correct, that it was kind of because, he wasn't really needed for Game 1, or if he was going to be starting Game 2. And so that is the case. He'll be out on the mound, and it looks like he'll have some college visitors watching him. We saw some people from JMU out in the crowd today. So he'll have some extra eyes on him here live from P.O. Faulkner Park.
So let's get into the lineups for Game 2. First for Vienna Post 180. Leading off at shortstop is number 2, Jonah Neihart. Batting second and catching for Vienna Post 180 is number 17, Connor Moore. Batting third at first base is number 12, Robbie Levy. Batting fourth at third base is number 11, Ryan O'Connor. Batting fifth and playing in right field for Post 180, number 23, Stevie Millman. Batting sixth at second base is number 4, Asa Hinkle. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 15 for Vienna. That is Daniel Nielsen. Batting eighth in left field, number 20 is Alex Kruder. And batting ninth and playing in center field, number 5, Patrick Collier. Now for Berkeley Post 14, leading off in left field is number 9, Connor Bailey. Batting second at shortstop, number 13, Baden Hartman. Batting third in the designated hitter once again, Colin Reed. Batting fourth in right field, number 1, Cam Moore. Batting fifth at third base, number 17 is Riley Bubb. Batting sixth in center field, number 14, Griffin Horowitz. Batting seventh at second base, number 6, Braden Stottlemyre. Batting eighth at first base, number 18, Jason Myers. Batting ninth, the catcher, number 15, Ty Broughton. Looks like first pitch a little bit delayed. We were told around 3:45 was when first pitch was going to be, but it looks like after some lunch for these players, still trying to settle that in and allow the starting pitchers to fully get warmed up as well.
Yeah, it's mostly the same lineup for Post 14 going into this game. Actually, it's the exact same lineup for the top 5 through the order. Bailey, Hartman, Reed, Moore, and Bubb, still at the same positions. And then, actually, the positions for spots 6 through 9 in the lineup are the same, but the players in those positions have been subbed out. So now Chase Herndon's been replaced with Griffin Horowitz in center. Braden Stottlemyre goes from starting pitcher in Game 1 to second baseman in Game 2, replacing Carson Buber. Jason Myers takes over at first for Jackson Ruest, and Ty Broughton takes over for Landon Sifford at catcher. And you're going to start out Game 2 with Lane DeLauder on the mound.
So let's step aside, take a 2-minute break, and when we come back, we'll see if we get ready for first pitch between Post 14 and Post 180. You're tuned into American Legion Baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10. We're back in 2 minutes.
WVU Medicine welcomes 10 new providers to our medical staffs at Berkeley Medical Center, Jefferson Medical Center, and University Health Associates East. 2 hospitalists, Dr. Vamsi Amanchi and Dr. Aparna Bahara. 5 providers in emergency medicine, Dr. Douglas Binkelman, Dr. Michael McCullough, Dr. Melissa Natali, and nurse practitioners Sylvia Purdy and Leslie Purcell. And 3 specialists, Dr. William Ware, pediatrics, nurse practitioners Brittany Johnson, OBGYN, and Kristen Renzi, cardiology. Welcome to WVU Medicine.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
This is Eric at Hancock Chevrolet. Over the last decade, the way we buy things have evolved. Now, you get on your phone, click Want It, and it shows up at your front door. At Hancock Chevrolet, it is that easy. We've changed the car buying experience on the I-81 corridor forever. And with a return policy better than Walmart, there's absolutely no reason to buy a new or used car, truck, or SUV anywhere else. Just like Amazon, Hancock Chevrolet will deliver the vehicle to you, where you are, and on your time. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. Why waste your time in a car dealership playing the dumb back and forth games? Besides, we hate it more than you do. I assure you, no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. will beat our price. No dealership from Cumberland to Baltimore, Maryland will beat our price. And no other dealership will allow you to return it if you don't want it. Hancock Chevrolet absolutely provides the best experience at the best price. Visit HancockChevy.com to schedule your VIP experience. Click on the vehicle you want, and your new ride will be delivered to you at no risk.
See dealer for details.
We welcome you back to P.O. Faulkner Park in Martinsburg, West Virginia, as we get ready for first pitch of Game 2 between Vienna Post 180 and the Berkeley Post 14 Hornets, as both team managers now talking with the 2 umpires, exchanging lineup cards as we get ready for Game 2, as Berkeley Post 14 got the victory as they came back late in that game in the bottom of the 6th with an offensive explosion to take Game 1. Colin McLaughlin alongside me is Dylan Bishop for this one. Nick Verzolini has moved over to the camera. Still back in the studio is Spencer Dupuy. This one our last one before a week off of games for Legion Ball, whether it's senior or junior for the Hornets, as the office for WRNR will be closed, which also means no Eastern Panhandle talk in the mornings from 8 to 10 and no Sports Mix from noon until 1 p.m. all of next week due to the holiday.
Yep, so it'll be next, 2 weeks from now, almost, about a week and a half before we have another post-14 game, or any game in general. But for now, we get one more game of baseball in today, on the Sunday before that.
Yep, as senior Hornets, now 11-5, trying to make it 3 straight wins to start off the month of July after dropping 3 straight to end the month of June against Post 10, Bedford, and then Post 64 on Friday. They had the 13-3 win yesterday and then the 7-3 win earlier this afternoon. While we wait for the Post 14 Hornets to take the field. Everybody, it looks like, over in that third base dugout, putting their gloves back on and getting ready to go. And we get to see Lane DeWater again for this team, as we saw him in his first start for the Hornets. Trying to look at his stats now. With those 6 innings, he's played in 2 games with 1 start. He's had 103 pitches, 4 post 14 so far, giving up 7 hits, 4 runs, all 4 earned, 9 strikeouts, and 2 walks for him, as his ERA at 4.667 in those 2 games.
Yeah, I believe he had 6 strikeouts out of that 9 in that start on Father's Day that we saw, where he was a little shaky. That was his first start back since joining the team, and first start overall since the high school state championship tournament. So I think he was a little rusty. Had to shake a little bit off. It was really those early innings where he gave up some walks, gave up a few runs. Not a terrible performance by any means, but it was just enough for Boonesboro to get the win in that tournament that was hosted here at P.O. Faulkner. But we'll see if, with time passing a little bit, he's shaken off a little more of that, gotten a bit more into a groove, and comes out and shows to be the great pitcher that he is here today.
By the way, quick correction if I misspoke earlier. Berkeley Post 14 is still playing next week. We just will not be having the games because of being off and them being away. So just wanted to quickly correct that if anybody tuning in was confused, as the Hornets take the field and we get ready for the top of the first. Again, the lineup for Post 180. Batting first at shortstop is Nehart. Batting second is Moore. Third is Levy. Fourth is O'Connor. Fifth is Millman. Sixth is Hinkle. Seventh is Nielsen. Eighth is Kruder. And ninth is Collier. Stillwater taking his warm-up pitches now. See if he's settled in and able to have a strong and quality outing for the Hornets today.
Yep, and he'll have some strong defense behind him. He's got Ty Broughton behind the plate that he's throwing to. Across the infield from left to right, Riley Bubb, Baden Hartman, Braden Stottlemyre, and Jason Myers from third to first. And then out in the outfield, he's still got Connor Bailey, Griffin Horowitz, and Cam Moore from left to right.
So this the second start for Lane DeWater this year in his third appearance. As we know, a very impressive junior season for him at Hedgesville. Already currently committed to JMU.
And like we mentioned in the first segment of pregame here, that it seems that there's a JMU contingent, perhaps some coaches here, watching this game.
Yeah, we know of at least one because his son came up and asked for rosters during Game 1.
Yeah, I've had JMU hat on.
As the warm-up pitches conclude, the infield will meet with DeWater before going back to their positions, and we'll have Nehart due up.
Nehart came in and pinch hit during Game 1. Pinch hit for the first baseman Nielsen and moved out to left field. He was 0 for 1 with a ground out to shortstop.
Broughton still out on the mound, going over a few signs and talking with Lane DeWater so that they're on the same page before they start. The infields went back to their positions to wait for first pitch.
Yeah, I think once he gets behind the plate, we'll be ready to play ball.
And they signal for the left-handed batter and Nehart to step into the box, and we're ready to go at 3:56. Stillwater sets. A wind-up in the first pitch of Game 2. Misses outside for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes. Water sets the kick and the delivery. This one misses low for ball 2.
those early pitches for any pitcher are going to be an interesting sort of thing for a guy as he gets warmed up. First time he's throwing real action with a real batter in the box outside of those warm-up pitches.
He's able to find the strike zone to make the count 2-1 now on a fastball. 2 balls, 1 strike. DeLauder sets. His pitch misses low. The count now 3-1 to the leadoff batter for post 180. Nyhart steps back into the box. 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. The count now full at 3-2.
It's similar to how he started the last game that we saw of him on the mound. Had some control issues, but then he also was able to get a lot of swing and misses out of the batters in the box.
Here's the payoff pitch from Lane DeLauder. It misses outside for ball 4. It's a lead-off walk to start things off in the top of the first.
And Broughton tried to pull that one in and frame it, but it's clearly outside for ball 4.
That'll bring up a catcher for Vienna post 180, Connor Moore. Moore, another lefty. Lane checks the runner, first pitch. Just above the shoulders, it misses for ball 1.
We saw Moore in the same spot that he was in game 1 at the 2-hole. He walked and had a single and stole 2 bases.
Throw over to first. Not in time as the runner goes back in standing.
Big lineup shift from Vienna from game 1 to game 2 as opposed to post 14. Moore, one of the only ones staying in the same spot in the lineup.
This one, fly ball to shallow center field. It drops down for a single. This runner's now on first and second with nobody out.
Yeah, it just blooped in there. He got it off the end of the bat. Poked it out on the outside part of the plate. And it was able to drop in. Guess we should make a correction on the fielding alignment for post 14. Griffin Horowitz is actually out in left field. Connor Bailey has moved to center. Different than the lineup we were given, but nonetheless.
Levy steps into the box and calls time.
Levy was 4 for 4, or getting on base 3 for 3 with a walk in the first game. He was really the one guy in the lineup for Vienna that got things going.
First pitch to him, called strike 1. Runners on first and second, nobody out top of the first. DeLauder checks the runner behind him. Does so again. Kick in the pitch. Gets past Ty Broughton. Both runners advance on the jog. 1 base each. So now 2 runners in scoring position, a 1-1 count with nobody out. Lane will ask Ty Broughton to come meet with him at the mound to settle down a little bit.
Yeah, this is pretty similar to what we saw in the first game, or 2 weeks ago on Father's Day. Early on, had some control issues. Couple hits, couple walks here and there. He was able to recover and get a bunch of strikeouts in that game as well. So it's a tough lineup, though.
Set in the 1-1 pitch from DeLauder. Misses low again as Broughton had to drop down to keep that from going in between his legs. The count now 2-1.
You got to be careful with Levy. Again, he had 2 doubles in that first game. Drove in an RBI.
Pitch to Levy. Grounded foul as a dead ball hits him. Count 2-2.
For a good portion of that game, Levy's 2 doubles were the only hits that Vienna had in general.
It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners on second and third in the top of the first for Vienna post 180. after the walk, followed by the single. DeWater sets. Wind up and the 2-2 pitch to Levy. Fly ball into left field. That one looks like it's going to get down, and it one hops off the fence. Scooping it up is Finn Horowitz. That is a base-clearing double for Post 180 in the top of the first. They lead Post 14 2-0.
Yeah. Levy's picking up right back where he left off in Game 1. His third double of the day. First one for Game 2. Again, he's a Division I player committed to George Washington.
Brings up Ryan O'Connor with a runner on second and still nobody out. DeWater steps off the rubber for a second before stepping back on. Lane gets the call from Ty Broughton. Pitch to O'Connor. Fastball right down the middle, swung on and missed for strike one.
O'Connor moving up in the lineup from the first game where he batted 7th. He got on base twice with a walk. One was a hit by pitch. Struck out looking, lined out to first base as well.
Runner on second takes his lead. The 0-1 pitch. Skips past Broughton, goes to the backstop. No throw to third as Levy slides in safely.
Well, like we saw from Braden Stottlemyre, he had a slow first inning. A shaky first inning. But he was able to get back his composure and stay under control for the rest of the game.
The 1-1 pitch is fouled off to the right-hand side off the netting. Count now 1-2.
Just to see if Lane can do the same thing.
Still nobody out. Runner on third. O'Connor up to bat for Post 180. The pitch from DeWater. Swing and a miss for out number one on the strikeout.
If nothing else, Lane DeWater is going to throw a lot of strikeouts. He's going to strike out a lot of batters. Even if he gives up some runs, gives up some hits, and gives them some walks, he's going to strike guys out.
It'll bring up Millman. It's pitch right at the knees for strike one to Millman. DeWater sends the 0-1 pitch. Grounder right back up the middle off the glove of DeWater over to Stottlemyre. He had to go from his right back over to his left. He's able to scoop up the ball, throw over to first to make the play for the out. Runner comes home to score. It's now 3-0 Vienna over Berkeley.
It's a productive out. It was almost trouble as it hit off DeWater's glove. It was a nice adjustment by Stottlemyre. But that is another run up on the board.
Yeah, it's tough to change directions like that, as now up to bat is Hinkle. He swings through the first pitch for strike one. You almost thought for a second with his momentum carrying him to his right, he was going to be unable to come back to the left side, especially on the turf. We've seen a lot of guys slip in their shoes as that one misses for a ball.
Yeah, luckily things have really, the sky has opened up and it's heated. It's hot out today, so the turf has been able to dry up from when it was raining.
1-1 pitch, grounded over to the third base side and foul for Hinkle. Count now 1-2.
Hinkle's another one that's moved up in the lineup from game 1 to 2. He was the 9-hitter, now he's batting 6th. He wasn't able to get on base in game 1 with a hit, but he did get hit by a pitch and had a sac fly RBI.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on, 3-0. Post 180 leads Berkeley Post 14. The 1-2 pitch, low for ball 2. And now Deuce is wild.
And Lane has the bases clear and go back to the windup. Let's see if he can strike him out then in the inning.
2-2 pitch, grounded fair down the first base line, and it is bobbled by Jason Myers. Goes off both knees and to the left in foul territory, so that's a error that allows Hinkle to reach first with 2 outs. That's a tough play, but
it was a tough play. He had to slide for it, but ultimately it's one that needs to be made. He should have been able to corral that into his glove and either get to first himself or make a toss over to DeLauder. So the inning continues.
Pitch high to Nielsen for a ball. DeLauder now at 25 pitches. Runner on first takes his lead. DeLauder looks over his shoulder, runner going. It's a hit-and-run situation as it goes in between first and second into right field. Rounding second, heading to third is Hinkle. Now 2 outs and runners on the corners.
That's a perfectly executed hit and run. The fact that the runner was going to second pulled Stottlemyre behind the bag at second, and Nielsen hit it exactly where Stottlemyre would have been otherwise.
That will bring up Kruder, the 8th batter in the lineup, but mound visit first for Berkeley post 14. As it's 3-0 in the top of the first for Vienna post 180.
Yeah, we're seeing a pretty similar start from last time for DeLauder. But he was able to, in that last game against Boonesboro, kind of settle in after he got out of the first inning. Started to strike out a lot of guys. Ended up with 6 strikeouts in that one. And he's a strikeout pitcher. So inevitably, there's going to be times where guys do get the bat on the ball if he's throwing strikes in the zone. So it's bound to happen sometimes. And plus, he's a young guy. You know, he's a junior. He hasn't always been facing this summer competition.
Throw over to first. Sliding in safely is Nielsen. So again, you have runners on the corners with 2 outs. Kruder up to bat. Pitch from DeLauder. This is low and away for ball 1.
And Kruder was the pitcher in game 1. He had a really nice performance out on the mound until really the last time through the lineup when Hartman and Reed started to get to him. That was really it.
Fastball called a strike past Kruder. Count now even at 1-1. DeLauder in a jam currently, trying to get out of it and have Berkeley post 14 come up to bat. 1 ball, 1 strike. Looks over at third. The windup in the pitch. It's a grounder over to third baseman, and it's off the glove of Bub into the middle of the infield. 1 run will score. It's now 4-0. That one had a high hop. It came back down. He tried to scoop it. And while scooping it, he kind of just hit it away from him.
That's tough for DeLauder because that's the second time now that he probably should be out of this inning. But his fielders have let him down a little bit.
Yeah, that's now 2 errors in this top of the first as Collier now up to bat. Runners on first and second. Still 2 outs. Now 4-0. Vienna post 180 leads Berkeley post 14. Pitch from DeLauder. Inside. Collier holds the bat back on the swing. It's ball 1.
Collier's going from the leadoff hitter to the 9-hitter in between game 1 and 2.
1-0 pitch. Breaking ball misses for ball 2.
And trying to get him to chase. He thinks maybe the fastball isn't placing where he wants it to, so he can try to get guys to chase, perhaps.
2 balls, no strikes. 2 outs. DeLauder sets. Checks the runner from behind, the windup and the pitch. Out 1. Skips past the glove of Broughton, who slams his mask down in frustration as now you have Nielsen on third and Kruder on second.
Yeah, you can tell that he thinks he should have been able to grab that one, which he's probably right. It was in the dirt, or in the turf. It bounced up, but it was still gettable.
Count now 3-0 to Collier. And DeLauder will step off the rubber. Looks at the runners. 3-0 pitch, squaring to bunt, and it's outside as he pulls the bat back. It's a 4-pitch walk. Base is now loaded with 2 outs. As Vienna Post 180's hit around as Neihart now comes back up in the first.
Well, and now it's a big opportunity. 2 outs. Bases loaded. They could really make this interesting. Give their starting pitcher a huge amount of insurance to work with.
This one off the glove of Broughton, and that'll score 1 as it goes to the backstop. It's now 5-0 in the top of the first. As Post 180 pours it on Post 14 early.
Yeah, Broughton and DeLauder just having some trouble now keeping the ball from getting to the backstop.
Runners on second and third, still 2 outs. This pitch caught a strike to even up the count at 1-1 as it catches the outside part of the plate. Neihart steps back in the left-handed box. The 1-1 pitch misses inside, scrambles past Broughton, but the runners stay put.
Sometimes there's just a snowball effect. When you start to struggle a little bit, you're not in the right mindset for a day. Sometimes it can just continue to, like I said, snowball into more and more.
Grounder over to the second baseman, Stoudemire, the throw to first to end the inning. They strand 2, but put up 5 in the top of the first. We get to the bottom of the first after this 1-minute break. You're tuned in to American Legion Baseball and Talk Radio WRNR and TV10. We're back in 60 seconds.
One of the questions lawyers get asked the most is, what is my case worth?
I'm Steven Skinner, and this is my brother Andrew with Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers.
The truth is, it's very difficult for a lawyer to pinpoint a number because every case is different.
We get to know each situation and we'll give you an idea of what your case is worth and why.
The sooner we get involved, the better we can do getting you the compensation you deserve.
Google Skinner Lawyers or go to skinnerwins.com. We'll treat you like family.
Before the invitations and the dress, the flowers, cake, candles, or vows, there was an answer to a question proposed with a ring.
Bechtel Jewelers knows that an important part of your wedding happens before the I-dos. We're a diamond store with an engagement and bridal jewelry selection that's both exciting and accessible.
On the big day, there's everything else and there's the ring. Make sure you get this one right at Bechtel Jewelers in Inwood.
We welcome you back to P.O. Faulkner Park as Vienna Post 180 starting off strong with a 5-0 lead over Berkeley Post 14 in Game 2 of today's doubleheader. Now we get to see Chris Fortunato on the mound. Fortunato.
I think Fortunato, he was pinch run for at one point in Game 1, but I think he re-entered. He went 0 for 3, flew out to left field to Connor Bailey twice, had himself a fielder's choice, got on base that way, but no hits, drew a walk. He was pinch run for by Millman, who ended up scoring a run at one point. But see what he can do on the mound. If he can do something similar to what Alex Kruder did on the mound to start things out in Game 1. Before he started to struggle against the 2-3-4 part of the lineup.
Fortunato will face Connor Bailey to lead things off in the bottom of the first for Post 14. First pitch, a fastball right down the middle for strike 1. Goes Bailey, Hartman, Reed. Moore, Bub, Horowitz, Stoudemire, Myers, and Broughton. The 0-1 pitch. This one breaks outside. The count now 1-1. Bailey steps back into the right-handed box. That bright red helmet. Pitch. Check swings. Did not go around. Pitch misses for ball 2.
There's a breaking ball there. Went outside.
Count now 2-1 to Bailey. Fastball catches the zone, evens up the count at 2-2 from Fortunato. Fortunato sets the 2-2 pitch to Bailey. A line drive to right field, and it'll drop down right in front of Millman for a leadoff single for post 14 and Connor Bailey.
It looked like Millman and Wright thought about making a sort of diving play on it, and then at the last second realized he might not get there. It might go past him if he gets aggressive, so he held up and let the ball drop in for a single.
So that brings up Hartman. Pitch to Hartman. Popped up to the right side of the infield. Looking up is the first baseman, Levy's called off by his second baseman, Hinkle. In shallow right field, Hinkle will make the catch for the out.
They're swinging early. Was Hartman. But just couldn't. That was a little too high up in the zone for him to really get any good contact on it.
Now up to the plate for Berkeley post 14 is Colin Reed.
Our Game 1 player of the game.
Pitch. Cutter that catches the inside zone for strike 1.
He did great his second and third times up against Kruder. 2 doubles. Second one driving in an RBI.
Runner on first, and Bailey takes his lead. He's going, the runner. Throw down to second. Not in time as Bailey steals second base on the throw. That one also called strike 2 to Reed, so he's behind in the count 0-2.
There's too much speed from Bailey. That was a nice throw down.
Had a good jump as well.
Yep.
Fortunato checks the runner behind him. The 0-2 delivery. This one popped up in foul territory over at first base, and it's caught for out number 2.
That's tough. Just kind of jammed him high and inside. And with 2 strikes, he had to fight off anything close. That one stayed in play.
Cam Moore now up to bat. Steps into the left-handed box, has the runner in scoring position on second. Still 2 out. 5-0 ball game. Vienna post 180 leads Berkeley post 14 in the bottom of the first. Change-up misses low and away for ball 1 to Moore.
And Moore was 1 for 3 in game 1, but scored a run and scored an RBI on a sac fly in right field.
1-0 inside, past the catcher Connor Moore. That'll allow Bailey to jog his way over to third. Makes the count to Moore 2-0.
It's tough sledding when you start out a game. And you first time you come at the bat, you're already down 5 runs, but you got 7 innings to come back. You just got to go 1 run at a time. Now they got a runner on third.
2-0 pitch. Misses inside for ball 3 from Fortunato.
It was a good eye by Moore. It's a close one.
.30 pitch. Inside for ball 4, so now runners on the corners with 2 outs for Berkeley post 14, and Riley Bubb up to the plate.
Another chance. Drive in some runs. Cut that lead down. Bubb had an RBI on a fielder's choice in game 1. Drew a walk. Had a fly out to shallow left.
Pitch from Fortunato outside for ball 1 to Bub. Bub steps back into that right-handed box. Runners on the corners take their leads. 1-0 pitch from Fortunato. At the shoulders, count now 1-1.
Have to see if Cam Moore makes any attempt at second base, or if with 2 outs they stay a little conservative.
1-1 pitch. Misses just inside. The count 2-1 to Bub.
That was a close one. I think it did just miss that inside corner.
We got 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Chris Fortunato looks at the runner at first. Now the runner at third. Sets the pitch. Low and away. Count now 3-1 to Bub.
Fortunato has a chance to get out of this with no damage done.
Berkeley Post 14 putting some pressure on him with their patience at the plate right now.
Yeah, he's been kind of all over the place.
Draw back-to-back walks as this one a swing and a miss from Bub for strike 2. He was just ahead of that one.
Against Moore and Bub, he's had some control issues, but he only needs 1 more strike to get the job done.
Here comes the payoff pitch. Liner down the first base side and foul. Keep things at 3-2.
Yeah, he's really late on that one. You could tell didn't quite until the last second decide if he was going to swing at that one.
Runners on the corners. 5-0. Post 180 leads Post 14 in the bottom of the first. Expect the runners to go on the pitch with a full count and 2 outs to pitch from Fortunato. It's a grounder to the shortstop by Bub. Throw to first to retire the side. So they strand 2 in the bottom of the first. We head to the top of the second. It's Vienna Post 180, 5. Berkeley Post 14, nothing. You're tuned in to American Legion Baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV10. We're back in 1 minute.
Have you been smoking? I can smell it. Hickory. I'm gonna watch you smoke the whole pack.
Shop now and save at Orsini's today.
Have you been smoking? I can smell the whole pack.
Shop now and save at Orsini's today.
The Honda HR-V, CR-V, Pilot, Passport, and Ridgeline. They all have one thing in common. They never back off from a challenge. Available with all-wheel drive, the Honda SUV lineup has the performance you can count on and the capability to amaze. It's no wonder Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com named Honda the 2022 Best Value brand.
CMA's Honda of Winchester, 3985 Valley Pike. CMA, moving lives forward.
Based on 2022 brand image awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit KBB.com for more information.
Back at P.O. Faulkner Park for the second inning of Game 2, where Vienna Post 180 leads Berkeley Post 14 5-0 after 1. As Berkeley Post 14 tried to threaten in the bottom of the first, had runners on the corners, but were unable to drive any in.
Yeah, it was a good job by Fortunato to get out of the jam. But now we have to see if Lane DeLauder can get back into a groove after that first inning, giving up 5 runs. We saw some wild pitches. Him and his catcher couldn't quite get on the same page. You know, some pass balls as well. A couple errors, though, in the defensive side of things that kept the inning going.
First pitch swinging is Moore. It's a grounder to Hartman. It's short. A long throw. Almost pulled Myers off the bag, but he's able to keep the foot on it for out number 1.
Yeah, that was a nice play over at first by Myers. Keep his foot on the bag.
Yeah, that throw was high, and hopefully he's okay after that extension. Kind of see him shaking things off.
He got a little bit of stretch in there. That's what you got to be able to do at first base, though.
Brings up Levy now. Pitch from DeLauder. Skips again off the turf and low for ball 1.
And Levy now between both games is 4 for 4 with 3 doubles and 3 RBIs. Picked up where he left off in his first at-bat.
A 1-0 pitch. Misses outside for ball 2. You pitch around him, maybe? I don't know.
There's probably some situations where you would think about it.
You got nobody on, so probably not, but... Sends this one over to first. Slidings Myers, underhand toss. DeWater hustles his way over to first after making the catch for the out. So that works for you on the 2-0, able to have a ground out for out number 2.
Yeah, there you go, keeping them off base for the first time today in your 6th try at doing so. So, nice bounce-back ending through 2 batters for DeWater.
Yep. Ryan O'Connor comes to the plate. He struck out swinging his last time up on 4 pitches as he'll step into the right-handed box against Lane DeWater. Lane sets, takes a deep breath before the pitch. He'll wind up in the delivery, and again skips off the turf for ball 1.
Yeah, it's been a theme, but maybe you hope that's just one pitch, and he's got most of his groove back.
A 1-0 pitch. Fastball just below the knees, misses the strike zone for ball 2.
Just below.
The 2-0 pitch to O'Connor from DeWater. Grounded down the third baseline and off the line and foul. Count now 2-1.
Yeah, Bub let that one, he waited, make sure that went foul before grabbing that one.
2-1 count with 2 outs, nobody on the pitch. Inside and ooh. Hopefully he's okay as he gets up. I'll have to grab his helmet after he makes his way over as that one slipped past the water and hit O'Connor right in the back of the helmet.
Yeah, it seems like he'll be okay. I think he had part of the ball might have hit him in the back of the neck or the top of the back. But it does seem like he's going to be able to shake it off and go to first.
I'll allow him to take his time to go over to first. Puts his blue helmet back on and reaches for his sliding mitt. Looks like he's going to stay in the game. You have 2 outs, runner on first now after that. Glad that Ryan O'Connor's okay after that scary incident with the fastball.
That's why you wear the helmet.
Mm-hmm. Now Millman up the bat against DeWater. This one first pitch swinging, a grounder to third. Bubs throw to first for the out to end the inning. So no runs this time for Vienna Post 180. It remains 5-0 as they lead Berkeley Post 14. We'll head to the bottom of the second. After this 60-second break, you're tuned in to American Legion Baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
I pre-planned my funeral to make it easier on my family. They were relieved to know I'll get just what I want.
My family actually thanked me for taking matters into my own hands. Turns out having this awkward conversation wasn't awkward at all.
Pre-planning is my choice. There are certain things about me my family may not know. Now they won't need to guess.
The choices are yours. The peace of mind is theirs. Pre-plan your funeral with Brown Funeral Homes and everything will be taken care of. Find out more online at brownfuneralhomeswv.com. Brown Funeral Homes, here for you.
Ever try to collect on an insurance claim? Perhaps a homeowner's claim, auto accident, or fire. Insurance companies collect money from you for protection should something bad happen. And when it does, they don't want to pay, or they offer too little. At Mansion Ferretti, we have an attorney who worked defending insurance companies and knows all the dirty tricks they play to deny or lowball your claim. Call us today for help in getting what you really deserve. Mansion Ferretti, when you need justice.
Welcome back as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Colin McLaughlin here for Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10. Alongside me is Dylan Bishop. Our cameraman's Nick Verzolini. Back in the studio is Spencer Dupuis. Due up for Berkeley post 14 will be the 6, 7, 8 batters, Horowitz, Stoudemire, and Myers. It's Horowitz in left field, as we were originally told he was going to be in center. Right before the game started, made the switch between him and Bailey. It's Berkeley post 14 trying to start another comeback. Down 5-0 against Vienna post 180. Finn's ready to go against Fortunato. The pitch. Called strike one to start off the bottom of the second. As Fortunato gets the ball back from Connor Moore. The 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss from Horowitz for strike two. Fortunato has a lot of velocity out there, looking pretty solid as he tries to get his first strikeout here. The 0-2 pitch popped up to the right side of the infield in foul territory over towards the first base dugout. Tracking it down to the first baseman, Levy makes the catch right in front of the fence of the dugout for out number one.
We've seen that for a lot so far through this first time, through the order. Hartman, Reed, and Horowitz all really kind of getting jammed and having short pop-ups.
Stoudemire now up to bat. He looks at the first pitch. It's high and inside for ball one. Pitch from Fortunato. Grounder to the shortstop. Scooping it up. Nyhart is a throw. Hops. And out of the glove of Levy at the last second. Might rule that a single. We'll have to double check because I thought Stoudemire probably would have beat the throw anyway. So we'll wait for the ruling on game changer quickly. Is now up to bat for Berkeley post 14's Jason Myers. Fortunato looks over at the runner at first. Sets. Pitch to Myers. High and outside for a ball. Whoever's doing game changer taking their time to make a decision as well on that last at bat. – 1-0 pitch. Caught a strike. The count 1-1. Looks like they're going to roll it an error as the throw over to first. Not in time as Stoudemire slides in safely. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. This one blooped over the head of the first baseman. He's backtracking. He makes the catch for out number 2.
And that's pretty much the same way we just saw Horowitz go down. So, really good pitching so far from Fortunato. Again, post 14, just like they did at the beginning of the game with Kruder in game 1. Making contact, but very soft contact right at the infielders and outfielders.
Ty Broughton now comes to the plate for Berkeley post 14 with 2 outs, the runner on first. Fortunato sensed the pitch. Right down the middle for strike 1. Broughton catching this game after Sifford caught the last game. The 0-1 pitch. Misses outside off the glove of Connor Moore, and that'll allow Stoudemire to take second. Count even at 1-1 with 2 outs, and now a runner in scoring position. It's 5-0. Vienna post 180 leads Berkeley post 14. The bottom of the second of game 2 today. 1-1 pitch. Just misses outside. The count now 2-1 to Broughton.
Broughton set out game 1. Landon Sifford was the catcher.
Fortunato's pitch. Called strike 2 on the outside corner. So now Ty will have to protect the plate. Try to not leave another runner stranded. So they left 2 last inning. Deuce is wild, the 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Broughton goes down looking for the final out. Still 5-0. Vienna Post 180 leads Berkeley Post 14 here at P.O. Faulkner. We'll head to third after this 1-minute break. You're tuned into American Legion Baseball and Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10. Back.
I pre-planned my funeral to make it easier on my family. They were relieved to know I'll get just what I want.
My family actually thanked me for taking matters into my own hands. Turns out having this awkward conversation wasn't awkward at all.
Pre-planning is my choice. There are certain things about me my family may not know. Now they won't need to guess.
The choices are yours. The peace of mind is theirs. Pre-plan your funeral with Brown Funeral Homes and everything will be taken care of. Find out more online at brownfuneralhomeswv.com. Brown Funeral Homes, here for you.
Ever try to collect on an insurance claim? Perhaps a homeowner's claim, auto accident, or fire. Insurance companies collect money from you for protection should something bad happen. And when it does, they don't want to pay, or they offer too little. At Mansion Ferretti, we have an attorney who worked defending insurance companies and knows all the dirty tricks they play to deny or lowball your claim. Call us today for help in getting what you really deserve. Mansion Ferretti, when you need justice.
Welcome back to the third inning we go at P.O. Faulkner Park. Vienna Post 180 leads Berkeley Post 14, 5-0 in this one. So it was a 7-3 win in Game 1 for Berkeley Post 14. Bottom of the lineup due up for Vienna and Nielsen, Kruder, and Collier, 7, 8, 9 batters against Lane DeLauder. Lane settled in a little bit there in that second inning.
Yeah, he had the hit by pitch. He had a couple pitches that got away from him, but overall he was able to force 3 groundouts. So they all got contact on the ball, but it was all very quiet contact.
DeLauder sets. The first pitch popped up sky high over to the right side of the infield. Stoudemire uses his glove as shade, looks up, makes the catch for the out.
It's always tough when you got to make a play looking at the sun. The ball's not very big, especially when it's up there in the sky.
I don't think he has sunglasses either, so that makes it a little tougher.
It doesn't look like it, no.
It's now Nielsen up to bat. That was Hinkle, the last guy up. My apologies earlier, as this one called a strike to Nielsen.
Part of the way you can say that DeLauder has settled in a little bit is that Nielsen is the last player in the post 180 lineup to get a hit.
This one bounces right in front of the plate, past Broughton. Count now 1-1.
And DeLauder has given up 2 walks since then. But the rest of the contact that's been made has resulted in outs.
The 1-ball, 1 strike, 1 out. DeLauder sets. Here's the 1-1 pitch to the designated hitter Nielsen. It's low for ball 2.
Now the only issue is now that because of that rough first inning, it doesn't matter that you've settled in now, you need your offense to get going. And you got to keep being flawless.
That one hits him in the helmet, so the second hit batter today off the noggin. He's okay. That puts him at first.
You know, it's pretty amazing to think that they used to play baseball without helmets. They used to just wear their regular old hats.
Glad things have changed.
And you can kind of see how... you can pretty easily see how that changed.
Yeah. Pitch to Kruder. Swing and a miss for strike 1. That one was low. He tried to golf that one as smiles after something I think Ty Broughton probably said before stepping back into the box. Pitch from DeLauder. Misses inside. The count now 1-1.
That was a close one. But again, just like last inning, had a hit by pitch. but he was able to leave him stranded. So that's really what matters in the end. You can let guys get on base, but what matters is whether you let them get home.
The windup and the pitch. Called strike 2 on the inside part of the plate.
Now, obviously, it does no favors to your pitch count to let guys get on base, but you're doing your job as a pitcher if you don't let guys score. You might just not be able to do it for as long if your pitch count gets up.
Pitch goes outside for ball 2 as tried to get Kruder to chase, but he didn't go around. Will choke up on the bat for this 2-2 pitch. Runner on first, and Nielsen takes his lead with 1 out in the top of the 3rd. The Waters pitch. Right down the middle, called strike 3 for out number 2. Down goes Kruder. Second strikeout of the day for DeLauder. That'll bring up Collier.
It's honestly pretty unusual for DeLauder to get almost the entire way through a lineup twice, and for that to be only his second strikeout. A lot of ground outs so far for Vienna.
Pitch to Collier. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Water gets the ball back, steps on the rubber, looks over at first, sets. Long kick, and the delivery. Foul tipped into the glove of Broughton for strike 2. Water trying to get out of this one. And leave another runner stranded for Vienna. They already lead 5-0 here in this one. A grounder to the third baseman. Bub runs forward, throw across the diamond for the out to retire the side. So again, Vienna leaves one stranded. At the end of the top of the 3rd, it remains 5-0. We head to the bottom of the 3rd for Berkeley Post 14. After this 1-minute break, you're tuned in to American Legion Baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV10.
Not sure where to go or who to trust with your flooring project? And start with Trips Flooring, proudly serving the area for more than 25 years, specializing in floor sanding and refinishing, along with installation of new flooring, including hardwood, tile, vinyl, laminate, carpet, and the hottest trend in flooring, luxury vinyl, tile, and luxury vinyl plank. Are you on a budget? Check out their warehouse, cash and carry, or call 304-229-7009, or visit them online at tripsfloorsanding.com. Do you need a place to go for a quick tobacco, soda, snacks, cigarettes, or beer run? Well, then you're in luck, because Enter and Exit has convenience without the cost. Enter and Exit right off Route 11 is located at 31 Meadow Lane in Martinsburg and soon to be opening in Chambersburg, PA. Enter and Exit is open Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. and Sundays from 9:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. For great convenience without the cost, stop on into Enter and Exit today.
We welcome you back as we enter the bottom of the 3rd inning. It will be the top of the lineup due up for Berkeley Post 14 as they trail Vienna Post 180 5-0 in this game 2, the doubleheader today.
And so far, one time through the lineup, Fortunato on the mound for Vienna has only given up 2 hits, 1 walk, got himself 1 strikeout.
One of those 2 hits were Connor Bailey, who's due up right now.
Yep, started the game off, bottom of the 1st. Got himself a single and a stolen base.
First pitch to him, catches the outside part of the zone for strike 1. Fortunato sets. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball right down the heart of the plate for strike 2 to Bailey.
You've seen a lot of really good pitching from both teams in both games.
This one lined right to the first baseman. He drops the glove down, makes the catch for the out.
Tough play. It was a good job there to make the play by Levy, who's at first base instead of catcher like he was in the first game.
Yeah, Bailey had to go full extension to make contact with that one. They got him to chase, and then just kind of drifted its way over there towards Levy as the first pitch to Hartman misses for ball 1. A 1-0 pitch. Popped foul over the first base dugout and out of play. The count now 1-1.
Hartman, his first time up, popped up the second base.
Pops this one. It's in foul territory. Levy trying to make a play on it. Goes to the fence, but it bounces over a fan, and that's strike 2. I think Levy a little unhappy that that fan didn't move for him to try to reach out and make that play.
Well, this is the Vienna side, so maybe he has a legit claim there.
1-2 pitch to Hartman. Just high for ball 2. That one had some movement from left to right, but was unable to drop into the zone as the 2-2 pitch. It's the same thing. It stays high. It's a fly ball to left center field. Collier makes the catch for the out.
That's the first put out of the game made by an outfielder for Vienna. All the rest of the outs recorded have been in the infield. So, at least for post 14, call that progress. His first deep fly ball.
I think that goes for either side, actually. Looking at the other side of my scorecard, I don't see any.
You are right. I have the same thing.
Pitch to Reed. Misses low and outside for ball 1 to Colin.
It's been a lot of work for the infielders so far for both teams.
Pitch from Fortunato. Misses low for ball 2 on the fastball.
Like we saw first time up for Reed, and he popped up to foul territory to first base. Levy was able to make the play over there.
2-0 pitch. Outside for ball 3 to Reed. Down 5-0. It's Berkeley post 14 in the bottom of the third against Vienna post 180. See if Reed has the green light. It doesn't matter. It's outside. It's a 4-pitch walk with 2 outs as Reed takes off his equipment, drops his bat, jogs his way over to first to bring up Cam Moore. Moore, his last time up, walked on 4 pitches. That came in the first inning as pitch from Fortunato misses high for ball 1. So 5 straight balls now by Fortunato. He checks the runner at first, sets. A 1-0 pitch. Grounder towards the second baseman Hinkle. He runs forward, throw over to first after picking it up to retire the side. So Berkeley post 14 leaves 1 on base at the end of 3. It remains 5-0. Vienna post 180 on top. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is American Legion Baseball and Talk Radio, WRNR and TV 10.
There's a local family moving in our territory.
What do you want from me?
Taste it. It's really good.
We'll go through the mattresses.
It's not personal. It's strictly business. Leave the guns. Take the pizza.
Rock's, now serving hot, fresh pizza to die for.
Ow, that really hurt.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all. And Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars, too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Headed to the top of the 4th inning now with the top of the lineup due up for Vienna post 180 as they lead Berkeley post 14 5-0. Colin McLaughlin here for Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10. Alongside me is Dylan Bishop. Our cameraman's Nick Verzolini. Back at the studio is Spencer Dupuis. Lane DeLauder still out on the mound for the Hornets, as he gets to see Nehart for a third time today. Nehart 0 for 1. He walked his first time up and then grounded out the second to end the first inning.
You'll see this time through the lineup what they can do third time around. That second time through the order, there are 2 walks on 2 hit by pitches, but no hits allowed by DeLauder. Second time going 1 through 9.
Pitch to start off the top of the fourth. It's called a strike on the outside part of the strike zone. DeLauder working quickly now as the 0-1 pitch pops up into left field down the third base line. It drops in for a hit, rounding first, and he's going to stay put as he goes back. It's a leadoff single for Nehart in the top of the fourth for Vienna.
That's just a great piece of hitting, because him being a lefty at the plate, Horowitz was shaded over towards center a little bit. That ball hung in the air to where maybe if it was a right-handed batter, he would be over far enough to be able to go and get that one.
Brings up Moore for post 180 against DeLauder, as DeLauder throws over to first to try to pick off Nehart, but it misses. DeLauder sets. Pitch, fastball, called a strike to Moore. Moore 1 for 2 today. He singled right up the middle his first time up. Grounded out to short his last time up. Runner on first takes his lead. The 0-1 pitch, runner going. It's a hit and run and fouled off by Moore for an 0-2 count.
DeLauder? No. Go ahead, Colin.
I was just going to say, we saw that hit and run situation work earlier.
Yes, we did. It was a great hit. I think that was Nielsen on that one.
What were you about to say about DeLauder?
Well, and now that he's settled in a little bit, his stat line looks a little better through his fourth inning.
This one a grounder to the third baseman. Bub throw to second for 1. No throw to try to get the double play. They get only the lead runner on the 5-4 fielder's choice.
Just Connor Moore has shown through these 2 games he's very fast, so that was going to be a tough play, even though it was hit pretty solidly at Bub. But now DeLauder's into his 4th inning. He's given up 5 runs, but they were all in that first inning. 4 hits, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts.
Levy up to the plate. The pitch misses outside for ball 1. Levy doubled his first time up. It was that 2 RBI double to open up the 5-run top of the first for Vienna post 180. DeLauder with the 1-0 pitch. It's a hard line grounder in between first and second into right field for a single for Levy, as he continues to have a great day at the plate.
Right, yeah. It's 5 for 6 in the 2 games combined. And it's all been doubles and singles. Now it's a pretty good chance for post 180 to extend their lead.
Ryan O'Connor now up to bat. He was hit by a pitch his last time up in the helmet. Fortunate that he's still in the game, as this one skips past Broughton, goes to the net. Both base runners will advance. So 2 runners in scoring position, as it's Moore on third and now Levy on second.
It's an even better opportunity now. A base hit was maybe going to get you 1 run. Now it can maybe get you 2.
1-0 count now for O'Connor. Broughton called a time to talk with DeLauder. They go back to the mound and behind the home plate. 1-0 pitch. Misses low for ball 2 from DeLauder to O'Connor. DeLauder settling down hopefully here, taking a deep breath before this one as the 2-0 pitch. Caught a strike on the outside part of the plate. Makes the count 2-1.
It was a good job of framing on that one by Ty Broughton. Right on the outside corner.
Runners take their leads. 2-1 pitch. Grounder to the second baseman, Stoudemire. That's going to score one as he throws over to first to get the out. But it's now 6-0 Vienna post 180 in the top of the fourth. As Moore came home to score on the fielder's choice, Levy goes to third.
And that was all because of that wild pitch. Otherwise, you just have runners on second and third, maybe.
First pitch swinging, it's a grounder down the third baseline. Bub scoops it up, long throw to first for out number 3. It's now 6-0. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Vienna post 14 or post 180 leads Berkeley post 14. You're tuned into American Legion Baseball and Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10. Back in 1 minute.
This is Eric at Hancock Chevrolet. Over the last decade, the way we buy things have evolved. Now, you get on your phone, click Want It, and it shows up at your front door. At Hancock Chevrolet, it is that easy. We've changed the car buying experience on the I-81 corridor forever. And with a return policy better than Walmart, there's absolutely no reason to buy a new or used car, truck, or SUV anywhere else. Just like Amazon, Hancock Chevrolet will deliver the vehicle to you, where you are, and on your time. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. Why waste your time in a car dealership playing the dumb back-and-forth games? Besides, we hate it more than you do. I assure you, no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. will beat our price. No dealership from Cumberland to Baltimore, Maryland will beat our price. And no other dealership will allow you to return it if you don't want it. Hancock Chevrolet absolutely provides the best experience at the best price. Visit HancockChevy.com to schedule your VIP experience. Click on the vehicle you want, and your new ride will be delivered to you at no risk.
See dealer for details.
We're back as we enter the bottom of the fourth inning now. It's 6-0. Vienna post 180 leads Berkeley post 14. The Hornets have Bub, Horowitz, and Stoudemire due up, the 5, 6, 7 batters. It's Chris Fortunato still up there going strong for post 180.
Yeah, they've been able to make a lot of contact through these first 3 innings. As, Fortunato's only got 1 strikeout, but he's only given up 1 walk and 2 hits. So he's done a really good job.
2 walks, actually.
Yeah, excuse me, 2 walks. You're right. But regardless, the contact they've been able to make has basically just been a lot of ground balls and pop-ups.
First pitch to Bub misses for ball 1. Bub fouls this one off into the netting. Count now 1-1. Ball gets recovered by Horowitz, who's on deck. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss by Bub for strike 2 as it's ahead of that one. Got a big gap right up the middle. This one called strike 3 as Bub goes down looking for out number 1.
Yeah, you just didn't get a good read on that one. Thought it was going to be out of the zone.
Finn Horowitz now up to bat. That's the second strikeout for Chris Fortunato, and a timeout is called. All right, it looks like we have some changes here, so left field and some defensive changes. Tried to get them all as best as I could. Couldn't fully hear them. We'll see. Looks like Game Changer has them, so we'll give them to you once I look here. As now in left field, you have Norman. Center field still Collier, Millman's in right. O'Connor's at third as the pitch to Horowitz. Called a ball. You have Lewis now at shortstop. As this pitch misses outside for ball 2.
And Mac Lewis that we saw batting cleanup in first game, the Purdue commit.
Nyhart now goes to second. This one fouled off by Horowitz to make the count 2 balls and 1 strike to him. Levy still at first. I believe that's it. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Pitch from Fortunato to Horowitz. Popped foul and out of play to make the count now 2-2.
I believe that means we'll see Mac Lewis hitting for Hinkle, which means he would be first up in the top of the 5th.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Horowitz. Pitch. It's lined right up the middle and in for a base hit right in front of Collier. So it's a 1-out single for Finn Horowitz. Bring up Stoudemire.
All right, there's first real chance in a while to get a whole lot going. He had a base runner last inning, but it was with 2 outs. Now at least this time around you have 1.
Fortunato sensed the pitch. Fly ball to right field, backing up is Millman. Right in front of the warning track, falls. Does he have it? He does. Was able to hold on to that one while falling to the ground for the out.
I guess with the sun, it was kind of hard to track that ball, but he was able to track it well enough to snow cone it on his glove. And as he made the play as he fell down, good job to keep that in the glove as he fell to the ground.
Brings up Myers now with 2 outs, runner still on first. Pitch from Fortunato. Fastball that misses for ball 1 to Myers. Yeah, that looked like it was going to be a routine play, but right at the last second you kind of saw him stumbling and then falling, so you thought maybe post 14 was going to get a lucky break as this one misses for ball 2.
And the ball started to carry way more than he thought he was going to. Maybe the wind got a hold of it.
2-0 count, runner on first. Fastball called a strike to make it 2-1 to Myers. 6-0, bottom of the 4th inning. Vienna post 180 leads Berkeley post 14. Fortunato sets. Wind up and the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 2 as Myers can't get a piece of that fastball. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on first takes his lead. Pitch from Fortunato. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Berkeley post 14 again leaves a runner stranded on base. Remains 6-0 as we head to the 5th inning. You're tuned into American Legion Baseball and Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10. We're back in 1 minute.
At Carter Myers Automotive, what we do today will tomorrow become what we've done. That's why Owners Just Do More no longer defines us. Our work is never done because what we live by doesn't have a finish line. We care. Our company of owners is moving lives forward every day by finding more ways to care before, during, and after your purchase. Because when you're happy, so are we. Carter Myers Automotive. Proud to be the owners who just care more.
Locust Hill Golf Course invites you to historic Charlestown, West Virginia for 18 holes of phenomenal golf. We're just an hour drive from the Baltimore-D.C. Beltway, 1/2 hour from Winchester and Leesburg, Virginia, as well as Hagerstown and Frederick, Maryland. Each tee offers challenges across the 35 acres of lakes, ponds, and streams, which come into play on 11 holes. The Blue Ridge Mountains also provide a breathtaking backdrop to Locust Hill. Schedule your tee time today at www.locusthillgolfcourse.com or call 304-728-7300. That's 304-728-7300.
We have a new pitcher, it looks like, for Berkeley Post 14, is now on the mound. Number 2, Carson Buber. As DeWater's day is finished, his official stat line we'll get here quickly for you. DeWater goes the 4 innings pitched, giving up 5 hits, 6 runs, 4 of those earned, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts.
2 strikeouts, surprisingly low for him, but he was getting a lot of soft contact for his outs today. Ground outs, keeping it in the infield. So, obviously, you'd like a little better. You know, they got 6 runs up on the board on him. Only 4 of them earned, because there's a couple errors. But the fact remains that there's just been no offense so far for Post 14. It's been a really good pitching performance from Fortunato. So, you know, even if DeWater had gone out there and only given up a couple hits, maybe 1 run, they'd still be down, and he would still be in line to be the losing pitcher.
It's the 6, 7, 8 batters due up for Vienna Post 180 here in the 5th, as Mac Lewis will now come up to the plate after he just checked in last half inning defensively for Hinkle.
Yep, he started in the cleanup spot at the shortstop in game 1, so now he's back out there.
Fouls off the first pitch. It goes off and netted into the third base dugout for strike 1. Almost thought manager Trip Tobin was going to snag that one with his right hand.
He nearly did, just barely went over his hand.
The 0-1 pitch from Buber. Popped up into shallow left field. Backtracking's Hartman. And the shortstop will make the catch for the out.
It's a nice play by Baden there. Backtracking.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Finn was going to call him off, but Hartman was able to get there. Now Nielsen, the designated hitter, up to bat. The pitch misses low and away for ball 1, as that one kind of looked like it maybe slipped out of Buber's hand. Count 1-0 to Nielsen. Nielsen singled his first time up, later came home to score. His last time up was hit by a pitch, as this one right down the middle. Count now even at 1-1.
Buber starting off pretty nicely.
1-1 pitch. It's a 2-hopper over to Hartman at short. His throw to first, caught by Myers for the out. So now both outs here in the 6 has been having the number 6 spot on the field involved in Baden Hartman. Excuse me, the 5th. I was looking at my scorecard, forgot that everything shifted over since they hit around the first time up. So was ahead in the inning there. It's a swing and a miss from Kruder for strike 1.
It's actually Will Norman.
Is it Norman?
Check back into the game. That was the other defensive change. Norman started game 1 in left field in the 5 spot in the lineup.
Ooh. And that one hits Norman. He'll make his way down to first with 2 outs. That's Will Norman, and now it's Collier up to bat.
So they get 1 on base with 2 outs. So they get a little bit of a chance for extending this lead, but Collier 0 for 1 so far with a walk.
Pitch outside for a ball to Collier.
Collier's had a tough day overall. He was 0 for 3. Only a fielder's choice to his name in game 1.
1-0 pitch misses. Runner caught in between. Throw to second. Not in time, as I don't think either Stoudemire or Hartman really realized that they were going to throw there. So the throw went to Hartman, but he wasn't ready in location to apply the tag.
Yeah, kind of a weird play there. It looked like a late jump. And it was late getting over there were Hartman and Stoudemire.
Broughton wanted to initially try to pick him off at first, but the runner kept going.
Yeah, the throw got to second base in time, but Hartman didn't really. So he had to make the catch on a bounce, then bring the tag down, and it was just a little late.
Count now 3-0 to Collier as this one misses outside. That puts him on first, which ultimately probably could help now as the final out can be at any base with 2 outs.
Yeah, it gives you the force, at least.
However, we head to the top of the lineup.
We do. Yeah, Jonah Neihart, who's 1 for 2 with a walk and a single.
He lets the first pitch go by for strike 1. It is Vienna post 180 leading Berkeley post 14, 6-0 in the top of the 5th. A pitch from Buber. Had some great movement, but still outside the count 1-1.
Yeah, couldn't quite get it to break into the outside corner of the plate.
A 1-1 pitch. Out one. Fly ball to left field, and it's caught by Horowitz for the out to end the 5th. Vienna post 14 has no runs here this inning, no hits, 2 left on base. We head to the bottom of the 5th. It remains 6-0. You're tuned into American Legion Baseball and Talk Radio WRNR and TV10. We're back in 1 minute.
Hi, I'm Ron Springer, head golf professional at The Woods. If you're a golfer who loves fun and competition, get your friends together and enter one of the many fundraising tournaments held at The Woods. You and your group may qualify to play in the area's premier golf event, the Tournament of Champions. The winning team will receive individual prizes as well as a cash prize for the organization they represent. For a list of qualifying tournaments, see ads in Around the Panhandle magazine and the Journal. For a list of rules and regulations, visit thewoods.com or contact me, Ron at thewoods.com.
Jambo Construction and Fencing Company, LLC is a veteran-owned and operated company right here in the Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia that specializes in decks, fencing, and hardscaping. Find us on Facebook at Jambo Construction and Fencing to see more of the projects we've completed. For a free estimate, you can call Bo Bartley at 304-268-5452 or Jamie Gall at 304-279-5053. We are licensed and insured in the state of West Virginia, and as Martinsburg alums, we say, Go Bulldogs.
We're back for the bottom of the 5th inning between Vienna post 180 and Berkeley post 14. It's 6-0 post 180. Due up for the Hornets will be the 9-1-2 batters in Broughton, Bailey, and Hartman for this bottom of the 5th, as Chris Fortunato still out there for Vienna, and so far today in the 4 innings only given up 3 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts for him. No runs. Broughton goes up. Looks like he's being pinch hit for. There's a swing and a miss from Chase Herndon for strike 1. Fortunato sets. And the 0-1 pitch to Herndon. Called strike 2. The 0-2 pitch misses outside the count, now 1-2 to Herndon.
We saw Herndon with that big 2 RBI double in the first game. It's part of that big inning to get the lead.
He bloops this one right into the middle of the infield. The throw from the shortstop off the mark. Herndon realizes it, hustles his way to second. The throw on the mark. Did they apply the tag? No, they say. He was able to slide past the tag, so Herndon safe at second. The entire infield of Vienna unhappy with that call.
I was ready to call him out for sure.
I mean, the throw was
very early.
Way early.
Great throw by Levy. It had to have been some sort of, Matrix-style dodge by Herndon over at second to get around that tag. Couldn't tell from the angle if that's actually what happened or not. But
Bailey up to bat now. He squares the bunt, pulls the bat back at the last second. It misses for a ball. Yeah, I thought it was going to be an easy out, but somehow Herndon was able to kind of dodge away from the tag. So the 1-0 not ready as Fortunato instead steps off the rubber and looks back to have Herndon go back to second. That pitch called a strike. Count now 1-1.
There's a good opportunity now for Post 14 to try and get some of these runs back. They had a 7-run inning in last game. That would get them the lead if they did it again.
This one fouled off over the first base dugout. The count now 1-2 for Bailey.
It's obviously easier said than done, but they just did it an hour or two ago.
Count now 1-2. Herndon on second. Nobody out. Bottom of the fifth. 6-0. Post 180 leads the Hornets. Pitch misses outside. The count now 2-2 to Bailey. Bailey already has a single in this one. He's made contact both times up as he lined out to first his last time up. 2-2 delivery, misses outside for ball 3. The count now full to Connor Bailey.
It's a good job by Bailey to have some patience and get back in this count.
Fortunato's payoff pitch, lined up the middle, and over the jumping Nehart. That goes into center field past Collier, and that'll be a double for Bailey. Coming home to score is Herndon. It's now 6-1 here in the bottom of the fifth.
It was kind of misplayed out there in center by Collier once it got past the glove of Nehart. That allowed Herndon to come all the way in and score, even though he got a late jump, making sure that didn't get caught.
Now Baden Hartman up the bat. He swings at the first pitch, pops it up, way out of play over to the first base side for strike one. Yeah, I wasn't sure if Nehart was going to somehow find that one into his glove or not. The 0-1 pitch to Hartman. Grounded foul over to the third base dugout. Count now 0-2 to Baden.
Baden hasn't been able to get anything going in this game, 0-2. But he did have a really good game one. Got himself 3 hits and an RBI.
Now behind in the count 0-2 against Fortunato. The 0-2 pitch. Lined right in between first and second into right field. Let's see if they send Bailey. He's going to stay at third, so it's no outs. Runners on the corners now for Berkeley Post 14.
I had to figure you can't keep Baden Hartman slowed down for long. He's going to get his hits. And as is the next guy up, Colin Reed, hitting over 500. 0 for 1 with a walk. So he's due for one in this game, too.
Pitch from Chris Fortunato. Runner going to strike. The throw to second, not in time, and that'll allow Bailey to come home and score on the throw to make it 6-2 now here in the bottom of the fifth. It's only a 4-run lead for Post 180 over Berkeley Post 14.
I mean, you had to figure that's what they were going to do. It was a big jump by the speedy Hartman. I probably just would have been indifferent on that one.
A 1 pitch. Breaks outside and misses the zone for ball 1. Oh no, with a 5-run lead, maybe you want to trade the outs.
Yeah, I was going to say you could. I was about to have that thought as well. You've got 9 outs to go. You're up by 5.
Now 4.
But going into that one, you have the thought of maybe you trade a run for an out, but you didn't get the out.
That's the risk as this pitch misses. The count now 2-1 to Reed. 2-1 pitch from Fortunato. Misses outside for ball 3. Fortunato kind of starting to struggle. That's his 80th pitch now. So he's already had 17 this inning.
Well, this is kind of exactly what we saw in Game 1, where once the pitcher on the mound to start for Vienna got up and pitches.
That one misses up and in for ball 4.
They started to get to him. They got some runs on him. Got a reliever in, and then the big inning came, and so did the lead.
So that sends Reed over to first. Nobody out, runners on first and second. It's 6-2, the bottom of the 5th. And we'll see if this is the end of Chris Fortunato's day or not.
Let's see, they might give him a little more opportunity to get out of this jam.
You have Cam Moore waiting on deck.
So Moore's 0 for 1 with a walk. Behind him, you have Riley Bubb, who's 0 for 2. And Griffin Horowitz is 1 for 2, as is Braden Stottlemyre. So that's who you got due up.
Looks like they're going to keep Chris Fortunato out there on the bump for Vienna post 180.
I mean, he's been able to pitch to a lot of soft contact on the ground, so you can hope maybe he can get a double play. And then if you do that, you're a lot closer to getting him out of this inning. And then maybe just try to hope you can save your bullpen until the 6th, at least.
The pitch. Fouled off over the press box for strike 1 by Cam Moore.
After Game 1, you're probably hoping to save your bullpen for as long as possible if you're Vienna. Because we saw, as soon as Kruger came out of the game, starting in Game 1, the bullpen could not hold that lead.
This one misses. Count now 1-1. One pitch, low for ball 2 to Moore.
And Moore's a patient hitter. Already drew a walk so far.
So far this inning, a double, single, and a walk. And this one just fouled over into the first base bullpen. That had some pop to it, though, off Moore's bat.
That really did. That didn't hook quite as much and slice foul. That would have been extra bases. Scored at least 1 run.
And now the 2-2 count for Cam Moore. Pitch from Fortunato. Fouled off by Moore as that one kind of jammed him inside. I think that might have been fouled off more by his arms than the bat, potentially.
Might have been.
He plays it off to stay alive. Two-two pitch. Again fouled off by Moore.
He's battling. That's what you got to do. At the very least, you're getting Fortunato's pitch count up further.
It's now at 87. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Pitch from Fortunato. Again fouled. This one into the first base dugout. And onto the field of play. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat for Cam Moore.
Could really use a strikeout or double play.
Fortunato checks the runner behind him. Now step off the rubber. No throw over, though. Just walks Hartman back. As Hartman now retakes his lead, and so does Reed.
Keeping him in check.
Wind up in the 2-2 pitch. Up and in for ball 3 to Moore.
It's good to at least keep Hartman in check over at second. Make sure he doesn't get a huge lead on the chance that you do have a base hit here. Make it harder for him to come around and score.
9th pitch of the at-bat. It's a fly ball into right center field. Collier makes the catch for the out, and the runners have to go back.
That's exactly what you needed if you're Vienna. Get yourself an out without those base runners advancing.
And Collier kind of shifted over a little bit into right center on that one, too. Was ready for it. Is now up to bat Riley Bubb. One out, runners on first and second. Pitch to Bubb, misses outside for a ball.
Bubb doesn't have a hit on the day yet. Fielder's choice and a walk in game 1. Nothing in game 2.
That one up. Bubb has to duck from having that one hit his helmet. The count now 2-0. He's grounded out to short and then struck out looking his last time up today in this game. Pitch. Popped up into foul territory on the third base side, and at a play it goes into the stands and then over towards the concession stand, I believe. Count now 2-1. I think that one just wanted some popcorn.
So of the 5 hitters in this lineup, 1 through 5 for the Hornets, that have been in the game for all of both games, Bubb's the only one without a hit so far.
It's a 2-1 count now as Chris Fortunato looks at the runner, the windup and the pitch. Eye for ball 3.
It's a good eye. Now he's got a hitter's count. He'll look for something dead center, or right exactly where he wants one.
3-1 pitch. Popped up into the air. Shallow left center field. The shortstop calling off his center fielder makes the catch over his back shoulder for the out. That was Mac Lewis to make the play.
Well, this is what Fortunato's done all day. Pitch to contact, but it hasn't been the kind of contact that Post 14 has been able to do a whole lot with.
So now 2 outs, runners on first and second for the Hornets as the pitch misses to Finn Horowitz for a ball.
Horowitz got himself a hit last time up. Single.
1-0 pitch. Over to the first base line in right field and foul. Count now 1-1.
Millman and Wright put in the effort to go and get that one, but that would have had to have been some light speed to get over all the way in foul territory there.
Now 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Bottom of the 5th, it's Vienna Post 186, Berkeley Post 14-2. Chris Fortunato's pitch. Caught a strike, throw to first. In time, tagging out the runner's Levy as Reed gets picked off to end the inning. We head to the 6th. 6-2. Vienna Post 180 leads Berkeley Post 14. We'll be back in 60 seconds. You're tuned into American Legion Baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
On the Sports Mix, you'll hear interviews with prestigious guests.
Since you had that reunion, do you have a favorite memory from that season or maybe a funny story you'd like to share with our audience?
John Madden, the late, great John Madden, came out to our practice on, Thursday. He turned to those guys and he said, this game ain't going to be close. These guys are going to kill Buffalo.
Tune into the Sports Mix, weekdays from 12 to 1 on Talk Radio WRNR, FM 106.5, AM 740, TV 10, and streaming live on the TV 10 Facebook page.
At the Berkeley County Health Department, our motto is prevent, promote, protect. Since 1935, our mission has been to provide clinical and environmental services to protect the health of the general public. We're committed to building public health in our community by offering a wide range of services, including blood pressure screening, breast and cervical screening, family planning, counseling, lab testing, and more. We perform health inspections to make sure the restaurants you visit are clean, and we prepare and coordinate plans to respond to all hazards. The Berkeley County Health Department, 122 Waverly Court, Martinsburg.
We welcome you back to P.O. Faulkner Park as we head to the 6th inning now. The 2-3-4 batters due up for Vienna Post 180 as they lead the Berkeley Post 14 Hornets 6-2. After the Hornets were able to score 2 there in the bottom of the 5th, but left one stranded, and Colin Reed getting picked off at first to end that inning. It's Carson Buber back out on the mound in relief for Lane DeLauder.
And he had a pretty solid first inning. Gave up 2 walks. One was a hit by pitch. But he was able to leave those runners stranded, didn't give up any hits. Let's see if he can keep that up and keep this at a 4-run game.
As it's Connor Moore up to bat for Vienna Post 180 to start off this 6th inning. He's singled, grounded out to short, then advanced on a fielder's choice his last time up, and later came home to score in the 4th. So it looks like it's now Cam Moore behind the plate. In for Ty Broughton.
They did pinch hit Herndon for Ty Broughton last time up, so I believe Herndon's now out in right field. If that's not the case, we'll get that corrected, but that looks to be the case.
According to Game Changer, it's Bailey.
Okay, Herndon's probably in center then.
Count now 0-2. Yep, Herndon's in center as Bailey moves over to right. You still have Finn in left. Spoober sets the 0-2 pitch to Moore. Misses for a ball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Carson Buber sets. This one lined and right past Baden Hartman into left field. It's a leadoff single for Connor Moore.
So that's his 2nd single of the game. 3rd of the day overall. He's able to drive in 2 RBIs with he had 2 stolen bases after a single in game 1.
Now Levy up the bat. And Moore took 2nd on the throw.
He's fast. Not surprised by that.
Pitch from Buber. It's a grounder to the second baseman, Stoudemire. Throw to Root West at first for the out. And the runner goes to third.
Of course, one of the few times you get Levy out, it still ends up being a productive out, moving the runner over.
Wasn't even sure if we were going to see Jackson Root West in this game because earlier he was chilling out in shorts in the dugout.
I did see that. I kind of figured the same thing as you, Colin, that he was going to be done for the day, but I suppose it's easy to go to the clubhouse real quick. It's only a few feet away.
Now 1 out, runner on third. Pitch from Buber to O'Connor, misses high for a ball. It's the infield corners. In the middle, it looks like everybody in almost on the grass except for Baden Hartman as this one misses for a ball. Count now 2-0 to O'Connor. The runner on third takes his lead. Buber looks at him, the pitch. Catches the outside corner of the plate. The count now 2-1 to O'Connor.
Able to get that one on the outside corner. Painting the black.
Connor was able to get an RB on a fielder's choice his last time up, looking to do the same here as he swings through this pitch for strike 2.
So Buber's fought back in the count. Saw his first inning on the mound. He was able to strand 2 runners.
Boober sets. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off and almost took the head off of Nick, but just missed probably a few squares below the opening in that net.
If you saw, he wasn't phased at all.
Count remains 2-2.
You can't scare Nick Furzolini.
2-2 pitch gets by Moore, and that'll allow the runner to come home and score. It's now 7-2. Vienna post 180 here in the top of the sixth over Berkeley post 14.
That's tough. Well, at least if you're Boober now, you can focus up, get back into your wind-up, and try to focus at the task at hand at the plate. But it does make things harder for you. You only got 6 outs to go.
Count 3-2. The infield goes back to its normal positioning instead of on the edge of the grass, and this one misses low for ball 4 to walk O'Connor. Now 1 out, runner on first, and up to bat for post 180 is Millman.
Millman's grounded out in every at-bat so far. Or so he's hit one on the ground at least. He had a fielder's choice RBI first time around.
Pitch right down the middle for strike 1.
Otherwise, he's grounded out twice to Riley Bubb at third base.
You have O'Connor on first. Boober stares over at him, now sets. O'Connor gets a little bit of a lead. He hesitates, but the ball gets past Moore again, so O'Connor will now go to second. Count 1-1 to Millman. It looked like he had a good jump. He didn't feel like he did, though, but then saw the ball go to the backstop.
Right, it didn't bounce back quite enough for Cam Moore to get there immediately.
1-1 pitch misses outside the count. 2-1. That one.
Yeah, Boober's starting to miss that outside part of the plate a lot there.
Moore had to go full extension to keep that one from going to the backstop again. Pitch from Boober. Fouled off, and did that one go through? Yeah, that one went through, but
again, Nick's just not phased. That was probably
kind of flinched a little bit there, but realized that he was safe. Count 2-2. Runner going, pitch outside, and Moore had to dive for that one, so he can't throw over to third as O'Connor steals it. The count 3-2 to Millman.
I believe it's the second stolen base of the game for Vienna. I think they also had 2, both by Moore in game 1.
That one off his glove, and it's a walk. The runner comes home to score. It's 8-2 on the pass ball.
Yeah, Boober's just losing control. Those wild pitches are happening pretty much at the same spot every time. And outside, I don't know if he's overextending or what have you.
Yeah, that one was kind of high. It just went right above Moore's head and off his glove. Now, runner back on first after the walk. 1 out, 8-2 is your score. Vienna post 180 leads Berkeley post 14. As this pitch goes outside for ball 1 to Lewis. Lewis, the left-handed batter, against Boober. Boober sets. Pitch. Low and inside for ball 2. Timeout's called as manager Trip Tobin for the Hornets goes out to talk with his pitcher. Cam Moore, the catcher, will go out to talk with him as well. Things that kind of just slipped away yet again here for the Hornets in this one.
Yeah, you wonder if it's just sort of a mental thing, especially when it's a guy's throwing a lot of these wild pitches to the same sort of spot. It's outside. still, even when the batter's going around the other side of the plate.
So the visit concludes. It's a 2-0 count to Mac Lewis, who came in for Hinkle. You have a runner on first, 1 out, top of the 6th. Carson Buber sets the 2-0 pitch way high and outside, and straight to the backstop it goes. Ball 3, and the runner in Millman will jog his way to second.
Well, that's certainly not a good sign that right after the mound visit you have a wild pitch.
.30 pitch to Lewis from Buber. Right down the middle for a strike. As Buber's trying to fight back in this one on the mound to avoid 3 straight walks. Runner on second, and Millman takes his lead. Pitch, did he go around? He did not. So it's ball 4. Lewis goes to first. Millman still on second. Now up to bat. It's a pinch hitter for Vienna as number 13 comes to the plate. As Chris Fortunato checks in for the designated hitter. So our pitcher now gets to hit, and the first pitch to him is a strike.
Like we mentioned, Fortunato was 0 for 2 in the first game. Drew himself a walk. Had a fielder's choice as well.
Buber sets the pitch to Fortunato. It's a hard grounder to Hartman. Throw to second for 1, over to first. In time for the double play to end the inning. After 3 straight walks, Buber was able to get out of it with the 6-4-3 double play. We head to the bottom of the 6th. It's Vienna Post 188, Berkeley Post 14-2. You're tuned into American Legion Baseball and Talk Radio, WRNR and TV 10. We're back in 1 minute.
WVU Medicine welcomes 10 new providers to our medical staffs at Berkeley Medical Center, Jefferson Medical Center, and University Health Associates East. 2 hospitalists, Dr. Vamsi Amanchi and Dr. Aparna Bahara. 5 providers in emergency medicine, Dr. Douglas Binkelman, Dr. Michael McCullough, Dr. Melissa Natali, and nurse practitioners Sylvia Purdy and Leslie Purcell. And 3 specialists, Dr. William Ware, pediatrics, nurse practitioners Brittany Johnson, OBGYN, and Kristen Renzi, cardiology. Welcome to WVU Medicine.
My kids, you know I want the best for you, don't you? We need to have a conversation.
End-of-life planning is no one's favorite discussion, but the relief of having everything in place when the hour of need arrives is a gift. Give it to your family. Plan ahead with us.
Brown Funeral Homes, a leading provider of cremations, invites you to explore the many flexible options of cremation. From environmental considerations to the benefit of greatly reduced cost, it may be the perfect answer for your family. Online at brownfuneralhomeswv.com. Brown Funeral Homes, here for you.
Back for the bottom of the 6th now as the Hornets come to the plate. The 6, 7, 8 batters due up as Finn Horowitz will get the step back up to the plate after he was up to bat to end the 5th. Well, looks like we have a new pitcher as well for Vienna Post 180.
Stephen Millman, I believe.
I haven't seen a number yet. Yep, it looks like it is 23, so
Millman was out on right. We'll have to check who's moved out to right field. See if it's, well, it might just be Fortunato, because that's the position he played in Game 1.
And they had to take out the designated hitter, so you might be correct. Not able to really see a number out there, but looking at the hair, I think you're correct. So it should be Chris Fortunato out there and right now as his day on the mound comes to an end. Let's check his final stat line. He goes 5 full innings pitched, only giving up 6 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 3 strikeouts, and 3 walks.
Good day for Fortunato. It was really a struggle for the Hornets to get anything going on him until the very last inning there when he was up over 80 pitches.
So it's Horowitz up to bat against Millman after the infield goes in to give Millman a high five or two, and Millman's not ready to go. He wants to talk with his catcher, Connor Moore, first. Just going over signs, I think. So they go back to their spots, and Horowitz steps back into the right-handed box. It is Fortunato out and right, so it's just a swap there as the pitch for Millman fouled off into the backstop for strike one to Horowitz.
The Horowitz got another chance to bat. He was up at the plate when Reed was picked off at first.
0-1 pitch, breaking ball, and it hits Horowitz. He lets it go right into his shoulder, and he'll make his way over to first. That one was just a breaking ball that never really broke, so didn't have a lot of speed to it for any worry of Horowitz. Timeout's called as up to bat is Stoudemire. Pitch for Millman. Misses for ball one to Stoudemire.
Well, we saw game one. Once Vienna went to the bullpen, things opened up for the Hornets. See if they can do it again.
A runner going as the ball not recovered by Moore. Count 2-0. Stoudemire as Horowitz goes to second. This pitch misses for ball three.
Stoudemire was one of only two players on post 14 to get a hit in his first at-bat in this game.
That one gets past the glove, and that's ball four. So Horowitz now goes to third on the wild pitch. Stoudemire takes first on the 4-pitch walk. So hit by pitch and a walk to start off for Stevie Millman on the mound, as now up to bat is Jackson Ruest. Pinch hitting for Myers, the left-hander in. Pitch from Millman. Misses outside for ball one. Nobody out. Berkeley post 14 down by 6 in the bottom of the 6th. This one, line drive over to the third base side and fair into left field. That'll score one. It is an RBI single for Jackson Ruest to now make it 8-3.
Well, that's Ruest's first hit of the day. It didn't really go well for him at the plate in game one. He was 0 for 3, 2 groundouts and a strikeout. And now you've chipped the lead down to 5.
Herndon up to bat. He looks at the first pitch. It's called strike one.
At least now you're in a spot where the amount of runs that you need to tie this thing up is less than the amount of outs you have left.
This pitch fouled off over the third base dugout and out of play. The count 0-2. You got nobody out. Runners on first and second. Herndon steps back into the left-handed box against Stevie Millman. Millman looks at the runner behind him. Pitch way outside for a ball as that breaking ball kind of looked like the release point wasn't there for Millman. Count now 1-2 to Herndon. Pitch misses outside for ball two. The count 2-2.
And we saw at basically the same point in game one, Herndon had a big 2 RBI double in this exact situation.
Big swing and a miss on the breaking ball by Herndon for the out. Now we head to the top of the lineup with Connor Bailey due up, as that was a beautiful breaking ball that just dropped down and got Herndon to go down on a knee on that swing.
Absolutely.
Pitch fastball. Lined into the right center gap. It gets down for a base hit by Connor Bailey. 1 run will score. The throw to the cutoff man will hold the second one, but it's now 8-4 with 2 runners in scoring position in the bottom of the 6th with 1 out. Vienna Post 180 still leads. But Post 14 able to have 2 runs again here in this half inning, just like the last half inning.
So there's a chance, looks like taking a timeout for Millman to tie his shoe. But there you go. Once again, you've cut the lead down just a little bit.
This pitch misses outside to Hartman. That was another RBI double.
Yeah, you've at least gotten back to where you were before the start of the 6th inning.
This pitch misses for ball 2 to Hartman. So, Connor Bailey with a 3-4 outing. A single, line out, RBI double, RBI double. Fastball misses high and in for ball 3 to Hartman. So runners on second and third, 3-0 count to Baden. Pitch from Millman, right down the middle for a strike.
Didn't take the bat off the shoulder that time. He was going to make him throw him a strike.
Pitch from Millman, misses for ball 4, so now the bases are loaded with Colin Reed coming off the bat as the potential tying run for Berkeley Post 14.
That's exactly who you want up at the plate in this situation. This is what we saw. Game 1, it was the bottom of the 6th. It was a big offensive outburst once they got into the bullpen.
Pitch a strike to Reed. This pitch misses outside the count, 1-1.
And you've got speed on the base paths, so I think anything in the gap here can score 3 runs.
So 1 ball, 1 strike, bases loaded. The breaking ball misses outside for ball 2 from Millman to Reed.
And not only that, obviously Hartman at first can score on the gap, but also Connor Bailey at second can score from second on a base hit.
2-1 pitch. Lined into left field. It gets down for a base hit. Ruest comes to score. Rounding third, coming home is Bailey, and it's now 8-6. Berkeley Post 14 trying to come back. It is a 2 RBI single by Colin Reed in the bottom of the 6th.
And his hot streak continues. That's his first hit of this game. Of course, in Game 1, he had 2 doubles and drove in a run. Now he's got 2 RBIs in this one.
A 4-run inning so far. You got runners on first and second with 1 out, and Cam Moore up to bat as Bohr comes into pinch run for Reed as the breaking ball right down the middle to Moore for strike 1 for Millman.
It's a good idea to get a little more speed over there at first base since it's a tying run.
0-1 pitch, fouled off into the stands on the third base side. Count now 0-2 to Moore.
Cam Moore's yet to have a hit in this game, but Colin Reed was in the same spot just an at-bat ago.
0-2 pitch just outside for a ball. The count now 1-2 to Moore.
Cam did have a single and an RBI sac fly in the first game.
Yes, reach base this game. He walked his first time up.
Yes, just no hits.
1-2 pitch. Fly ball into left center field. The left fielder underneath it makes the catch for the out. The runners go back to first and second. So that's Norman without number 2 making the catch in left. It brings up Bub. Bub 0 for 3 today so far in this one. The tying run on first. He's the go-ahead run up the bat. Looks at the first pitch from Millman for strike one. Millman looks at Hartman behind him, as it's Hartman on second. Bohr, the pinch runner, on first. Pitch at the knees called strike two to Bub.
It's been a tough game for Bub. At least in the first game, he was able to get on base twice with a walk and a fielder's choice RBI.
Millman will step off the rubber to put the runners back. They retake their lead now. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch from Millman. Half swing, Bub grounds over to first. Hustling down, the throw underhand by Levy to the pitcher Millman for the out. 4 runs across the plate, 2 left stranded. We head to the 7th. It's Vienna Post 188, Berkeley Post 14-6. You're tuned into American Legion Baseball and Talk Radio, WRNR and TV10. We're back in 1 minute.
At Carter Myers Automotive, what we do today will tomorrow become what we've done. That's why Owners Just Do More no longer defines us. Our work is never done because what we live by doesn't have a finish line. We care. Our company of owners is moving lives forward every day by finding more ways to care before, during, and after your purchase. Because when you're happy, so are we. Carter Myers Automotive. Proud to be the owners who just care more.
One of the questions lawyers get asked the most is, what is my case worth?
I'm Steven Skinner, and this is my brother Andrew with Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers.
The truth is, it's very difficult for a lawyer to pinpoint a number because every case is different.
We get to know each situation and we'll give you an idea of what your case is worth and why.
The sooner we get involved, the better we can do getting you the compensation you deserve.
Google Skinner Lawyers or go to skinnerwins.com. We'll treat you like family.
We welcome you back here as we head to the 7th inning between Vienna Post 180 and Berkeley Post 14, as it is now 8-6. As Berkeley Post 14 trying to come back. They just scored 4 in that last half, and now we have a new pitcher for Berkeley Post 14, as well as Buber on the mound is done. Buber goes the 2 innings, giving up 1 hit, 2 runs, both earned. 4 walks, no strikeouts for Buber. Is now pitching for the Hornets. It's number 19, and Fletcher. It's Caleb Fletcher will be facing the 8-9-1 batters. I'm Colin McLaughlin for Talk Radio, WRNR and TV10. Alongside me is Dylan Bishop. Nick Verzolini's our cameraman, and back at the studio, Spencer Dupuis. So it looks like Buber's done. Fletcher just comes in for him. I don't see him on Game Changer out in the field anywhere.
That appears to be the case, yep. If Fletcher did come into the field of play in Game 1 after a pinch hitting for Connor Bailey.
This Will Norman will start off the top of the 7th up for Vienna Post 180.
Norman was hit by a pitch last time up. First at bat in the second game for him. Went 1 for 4 in Game 1.
The pitch from Fletcher. Fastball swung on and missed by Norman for strike 1. Norman hit by pitches last time up. 1 pitch, fouled off into the netting and into the third base dugout after that. The count now 0-2. It's an 8-6 ball game now. After Vienna Post 180 led at 1.6-0 and 6-2 and 8-2 and now 8-6 as a swing and a miss from Norman. He goes down on 3 straight pitches. As Fletcher comes in, gets his strikeout to start things off in the 7th.
Well, this is what Fletcher does. He's been a really good relief pitcher both in the high school seasons and in Legion play.
Now, Collier comes to the plate for Vienna post 180. He's walked twice and grounded out to third. The pitch inside for ball 1. Fletcher sets the 1-0 pitch. Again, inside this fastball backs Collier off the plate to count 2-0. Pitch on the outside corner, called a strike to make the count now 2-1 to Collier. You have 1 out and nobody on in the top of the 7th. Fletcher steps on the rubber, looks down at Cam Moore for the call, the windup and the pitch. This popped up into right field, running forwards. The fielder and Connor Bailey makes the catch for out number 2.
Tough day for Collier at the plate. It's been a hitless day for him. Got on base twice in game 2, once in game 1 with 2 walks and a fielder's choice, but no hits.
Brings up Nehart. It's the pitch from Fletcher to Nehart. Misses outside for a ball. It's 1 ball, no strikes to Nehart. Pitch, fastball misses outside for ball 2. Fifth time up for Nehart in this one.
Yep, he drew a walk his first time up, and then grounded out the second, got a single, and flew out the left.
Pitch right down the middle, count now 2-1 to Nehart. Fletcher sends the windup and the pitch. Line drive right to the third baseman. Bubby drops down on one knee, makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down. Goes Vienna. Post 180 here in the 7th. We head to the bottom of the 7th where Berkeley post 14 needs 2 to tie, 3 to win. We'll see what happens after this 1-minute break. You're tuned into American Legion Baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
Jambo Construction and Fencing Company, LLC, is a veteran-owned and operated company right here in the Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia that specializes in decks, fencing, and hardscaping. Find us on Facebook at Jambo Construction and Fencing to see more of the projects we've completed. For a free estimate, you can call Bo Bartley at 304-268-5452 or Jamie Gall at 304-279-5053. We are licensed and insured in the state of West Virginia, and as Martinsburg alums, we say, go Bulldogs.
Do you need a place to go for a quick tobacco, soda, snacks, cigarettes, or beer run? Well, then you're in luck, because Enter and Exit has convenience without the cost. Enter and Exit right off Route 11 is located at 31 Meadow Lane in Martinsburg and soon to be opening in Chambersburg, PA. Enter and Exit is open Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. and Sundays from 9:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. For great convenience without the cost, stop on into Enter and Exit today. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning between Vienna post 180 and Berkeley post 14 here in Game 2 of today's doubleheader. Post 180 leads 8-6 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. The Hornets, as I said, need 2 to tie, 3 to win as Stevie Millman stays out on the mound for Vienna post 180. He came in relief last inning and gave up 4 runs with 3 hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout. And he goes up against the same guys he faced to start off that 6th, as Berkeley post 14 hit around last time, so it's the 6, 7, 8 batters as Finn Horowitz steps up to the plate to start off the bottom of the 7th.
Yep, it could be deja vu all over again. And if it happens, that'll be a win for post 14.
They were able to come back last time in Game 1 and win 7-3. Here we go, bottom of the 7th. Millman's pitch high to Horowitz for ball 1. 1-0 delivery from Millman. Fastball right down the heart of the plate. Count now 1-1. Horowitz started off last inning being hit by a pitch as the 1-1 pitch. Foul it off. Count 1-2 as again that one thought was going to come through and go right at Nick, and again Nick doesn't even flinch.
Stoic.
1 ball, 2 strikes. To Horowitz, the pitch from Millman. Popped up into right field. Backtracking to second baseman. He runs into the right fielder Fortudo, and it drops down. Hopefully they're both okay. Looks like somebody lost their sunglasses. Yeah, lucky break for post 14.
They made a little bit of contact with each other, and I think the ball ended up hitting off one of their gloves. Either way, yeah, they're all fine. But you got the tying run at the plate now for post 14.
Yep. Had an error as Hartman up to bat, or excuse me. This one misses for a ball.
Ruled a hit in the box score.
And that's Stoudemire up. No, it was ruled an error.
Okay. That's not why you were saying excuse me.
No, for some reason I started at the top of the lineup when I shouldn't have. It's pitched low. Count now 2-0 to Stoudemire. So Horowitz on first. 2-0 count to Stoudemire. So Horowitz takes his lead. Millman looks over. Sets. 2-0 pitch. High for ball 3 to Stoudemire.
Not a great start for Millman. I have to wonder if Vienna has anyone warmed up, ready to go.
I don't see anybody in the bullpen right now. And interesting. Stoudemire squares to bunt, but pulls it back. And the pitch misses inside. It's a 4-pitch walk, so now the tying run goes to first. And a go-ahead run up to bat. Nobody out in bottom 7th as Ruiz due up.
It's the 5th walk for Millman in just his 3rd inning of work. Second inning of work, I should say. Fortunato went 5 to start this one out.
Millman looks at the runner behind him. The pitch to Jackson Ruiz. Misses outside for a ball. Ruiz had the RBI single his last time up and later came home to score in that 4-run 6th inning. Millman, a 1-0 pitch to Ruiz is outside for ball 2. So that's now 6 straight balls from Stevie Millman.
He's got to recover quick because, again, Ruiz is the winning run at the plate.
2-0 pitch. Called a strike at the shoulders of Jackson.
And you've got a tough lineup behind him.
Jackson Ruiz now has the 2-1 count. Nobody out. Pitch outside for ball 3 for Millman.
Got Herndon on deck. Has a single in this game and had that 2 RBI double in the first one.
3-1 pitch. Inside for ball 4. The base is now loaded with nobody out in the bottom of the 7th. So you got Horowitz on 3rd, Stoudemire on 2nd, Ruiz on 1st. The timeout called. And will this be the end of Stevie Millman's day on the mound?
I think
it's been a struggle.
I think it needs to be, unless you don't have someone warmed up and ready to go.
I mean, we haven't seen any action in the bullpen, so
Right.
my only thought would be it has to be somebody from the field.
Yep.
Or they're just going to take their chances, and chances aren't looking good right now if you're Vienna post 180, even though you're up 8-6.
It did use 3 pitchers in the first game, Critter and Moore and Nielsen. It used Fortunato already. So we don't know how many guys on this roster are pitchers, per se. You only had a 2-man bench of Norman and Lewis coming into the start of this game.
So far for Millman, he's walked 4 batters. And now as the base is loaded, with nobody out and Chase Herndon up to bat, now it looks like he's going to stay out there on the mound.
Looks like it. I mean, when we got an 11-man roster for a doubleheader, and he's your fifth one, not every guy on every roster can pitch. We see that with post 14.
First pitch misses for a ball, and that one looked close. Millman thought it was a strike. Count now 1-0 to Herndon. 1-0 pitch. Called a strike at the knees of Herndon. The count now even at 1-1. Go-ahead run on first. The 1-1 pitch. Grounder over to the first base side. Throw to second for one. Over to first. Not in time. Run comes home to score. So 1 out. Runners on the corners. And it's 8-7 here in the bottom of the 7th. Vienna Post 180. Only up by 1 over Berkeley Post 14.
It's a productive out for Herndon. It's not ideal, but you still have your winning run on base. It's Chase Herndon over at first, and you're at the top of your lineup.
So Horowitz came home to score. Stoudemire's at third. Ruest was out on that play. Herndon's at first. Connor Bailey's up the bat. 1 out, down by 1 are the Hornets. The pitch. Scoring to bunt, pulling it back's Bailey. The pitch outside for ball 1 from Millman.
You got Stoudemire over at third with a lot of speed. I'm not surprised that they would go for a squeeze play here to tie this game up.
Millman sets the 1-0 pitch to Bailey. Breaking ball low and away for ball 2.
So maybe that was just one pitch they were going for. Went back on the squeeze idea.
Bailey steps back into the box against Millman. The 2-0 pitch. High for ball 3.
It could have just simply been a case of do that on the first pitch to make him think that that's going to be our strategy going forward. It would change how he pitches to you.
3-0 pitch way outside. It's ball 4. Bailey walks. Bases are juiced yet again here in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out. And Baden Hartman up to bat.
But hey, the next point I was going to make is that with the way that Millman's been pitching, I don't think you just go for a sacrifice to just tie the game.
I don't think you swing the bat.
Until he shows that you can get it.
Well, Hartman does, and it's in left field. Is it fair? No, just foul down that third base line for strike 1.
It was about 5 or 10 feet away from this game being over if that fell in.
Winning run on second as the bases are loaded with 1 out, 0-1 count to Hartman. Millman sets the windup and the pitch. Low for ball 1. You have 1 ball and 1 strike now to Baden Hartman.
And yet your 2 most dangerous hitters up right now and on deck.
1-1 pitch. Lined into right field. Is it down? It is. The tying run comes home to score. The go-ahead run rounding third, sending him. Slide safe. Berkeley Post 14 walks it off here in the bottom of the 7th. A 2 RBI single by Baden. 9-8. The Hornets come back to win in game header as the water dumped on Baden for the win. Let's step aside, take a 2-minute break, and when we come back, we'll have post-game show coverage. You're tuned into American Legion Baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10. Not sure where to go or who to trust with your flooring project? And start with Trips Flooring, proudly serving the area for more than 25 years, specializing in floor sanding and refinishing, along with installation of new flooring, including hardwood, tile, vinyl, laminate, carpet, and the hottest trend in flooring, luxury vinyl, tile, and luxury vinyl plank. Are you on a budget? Check out their warehouse, cash and carry, or call 304-229-7009, or visit them online at tripsfloorsanding.com.
The game may be over, but don't go away just yet. We've got a complete game recap, analysis, stats, the player of the game, and we'll prepare you for our next broadcast. All on the postgame show. So let's return to the field and rejoin our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team.
Okay. Does he have it off the fence cams? All right, I just wanted to check. So we welcome you back here. Apologies there, as it's a 9-8 victory for Berkeley Post 14 over Vienna Post 180 in Game 2, as the comeback complete for the Hornets to get the win, as Baden Hartman is the hero with a 2 RBI single in the bottom of the 7th to walk things off. I'm Colin McLaughlin for Talk Radio WRNR and TV10. Alongside me is Dylan Bishop as he gets ready for some post-game interviews. Nick Verzolini was the cameraman for Game 2. Back at the studio is Spencer Dupuis, as we'll wait to see if we can get Baden Hartman for an interview after this one, as well as the manager of the Hornets in Trip Tobin. While Dylan waits, let's quickly give you your stats for the pitchers on both sides and start off with the Hornets, as Lane DeLauder went 4 innings, giving up 5 hits, 6 runs, 4 earned, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. Carson Buber went 2 innings, giving up 1 hit, 2 runs, both earned, 4 walks, no strikeouts. Caleb Fletcher, who's tonight's winning pitcher, goes 1 inning with 1 strikeout, no hits. And before we get to the visiting pitchers in Fortunato and Millman, it looks like Dylan Bishop is ready with Baden Hartman. So let's send it down to him.
All right, thank you, Colin. Down here with Baden Hartman, player of the game, with the walk-off single there to drive in 2. Comeback wins for you guys in both games here. The bats came alive in the 6th and 7th innings in both games. And what do you think? It took a little bit for you guys to get going, but what do you think was the difference once you started seeing the pitches you liked?
It was just pitch selection. Like, everyone was taking good at bats and wanted our pitches, and we drove the ball well today. So it's good day.
That last at-bat for you, specifically the walk-off there, what did you see in that at-bat? What were you thinking while you're up at the plate with the opportunity to win that game?
The first pitch was a curveball, I think, and I hit it foul. It was almost fair, but second pitch, curveball again, and I just poked it right field and got it done.
You guys are getting into the end of your season here, about to get into the area tournament and state tournament coming up. How do you feel like your team is looking here as you get towards the end of this regular season and as you prepare for these tournaments?
I feel like we started off slow, but now we've kind of picked it up and started playing good baseball, and I feel like this will carry over to the state tournament, and we'll be good.
All right, thank you, Baden. Congrats on the wins. Back to you, Colin.
Alrighty, while Dylan waits for Trip Tobin, let's now get the stats for the visiting pitchers, as Chris Fortunato went 5 innings, 6 hits, given up 2 runs, both earned, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. As for Stevie Millman, he against the loss, going 1 1/3, giving up 4 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned, 5 walks, and the 1 strikeout, as it looks like Trip Tobin's making his way over to Dylan Bishop now. So, Dylan, whenever you're ready, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Colin. Down with Coach Tobin. Coach, it took you guys a little bit for your bats to come alive in both games, but eventually you guys were able to get it done. So what do you think was the difference in those late innings of both games for you guys to get these wins?
Well, anytime I wouldn't want to pitch against this group over here and have to face them 3 or 4 times through the lineup. So, second, third time through, these guys are confident, and they're just hitting with confidence. And they never thought they were out of it. They told Lane after he had that uncharacteristic first inning, so we're going to get it back. They just felt like they were going to. They were going to score runs. I certainly felt nervous in 3rd or 4th inning when it was just they were getting away from us 6-0, 5-0, 6-0. But those guys, they just fought back, clawed back, and never thought they were out of it. And they just hit the baseball and take advantage of the other team's mistakes, and they have some speed as well when they get on the bases.
And you guys had some tough innings in both games early on, but your pitching was able to kind of get back into a little bit of a groove and make sure that the lead didn't get too big. So you guys were able to make those comebacks. How did you feel about your pitching in both games today?
Yeah, I think we're rusty. I think you can get in the batting cage and take a lot of swings during that. We had that 2 games in 12 days, and that just never happens in summer baseball. And the pitching, of course, you like to keep your guys healthy, but they need to throw 30, 40, 50 pitches every 3 or 4 or 5 days and they throw their bullpens, and they could do that, but no live batters for that amount of time for this pitching staff is really tough on them. So, I realize that's why we try to get games. I mean, you can kind of keep your hitting, on point when you have those rainouts and those downtimes, but the pitchers, they just need to get more innings and hopefully play Wednesday, play 4 games next week. We play a tough back end schedule there, so I think as we move into the playoffs, those guys are going to knock that rust off. Boober hasn't thrown in who knows how long, so I just felt bad that we hadn't got him some live innings, and he needs to get his confidence. But we just need to play, keep playing, keep playing these games, keep playing every day. Baseball is a game that you need to play every day, and it shows whenever you don't. Certain aspects of your game suffer.
And like you mentioned, you are starting to get into this home stretch of the season into July now, coming up on your end of the season tournaments that you'll have. So how do you feel about your team as they start to get closer and closer to those tournaments, what they can improve, and how you feel like they are thriving right now?
Yeah, I mean, most of the guys are back from vacations. Early we just kind of patchworking people together. Now we're starting to work on, certain guys. When certain guys are pitching, certain guys are going to be in the field. We're understanding that. We had a nice back pick yesterday in the game where the catcher and the shortstop's working together. We're just starting to play, together more, gel together as a group, as a unit. We got a few things to put in, as far as pickoffs and that type of thing yet. But other than that, I mean, I think we're on an uphill climb. Last year, I think we climbed the hill real early, and then we kind of flattened out. This year, I think we're kind of just climbing it gradually, hit the rainouts, kind of hit a little bit of a drought there, and then we just kind of starting to climb again. This was a great day for us. We had a crazy night up in Kaiser where lots of runs were scored, and poor Jason Myers got sick on the stomach, and he was doing well, and then we had to get guys warmed up quickly and had to get Trevor Bohr out there with hardly any warm-ups, and he inherited a bunch of runners and just became a crazy inning that we weren't able to overcome. But I feel good about our situation, going into playoffs with them. They haven't really seen any of our haven't seen some of our guys, so I think we got some surprises left in the arm barn for them as well. But I feel like we're in a really good place.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us, and congrats on the wins.
I'd like to say congratulations to the Martinsburg Little League and the Hedgesville All-Stars out there, and the Senior League, and all those guys that are headed off to state and districts and regional. I know a couple of teams didn't quite make it, but I just like to see the Little League guys. I'm glad you guys were able to get out there and do some of those games, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you being here.
All right, we appreciate having you.
All right, there you go. That was Dylan Bishop with Baden Hartman, and then with Tripp Tobin. Let's finish off here with our stats and get into Vienna Post 180's offensive stats, as Nearhart had 2 at-bats with a hit, a walk, and a run in this one. Lewis in his 1 at-bat walked. And then you also had Moore with 2 hits, 3 runs in his 4 at-bats. Levy had 2 hits with 2 RBIs and a run. O'Connor had an RBI with a walk and a strikeout and a run. Millman offensively with an RBI on a walk. Hinkle scored a run. Nielsen had a hit with a run later on in that one. Kruder struck out. Norman had a strikeout in his 1 at-bat. And then Collier with 2 walks for Vienna Post 180. 8 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. As for the Berkeley Post 14 Hornets, Bailey had a 3-for-4 day with 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and a walk. Baden Hartman with the walk-off had 2 RBIs, a walk, 2 hits in his 4 at-bats. Colin Reed had 1 hit in his 2 at-bats, 2 walks, 2 RBIs. Cam Moore, 1 walk in that one. Bub struck out, didn't have the best day, going 0-for-4. Horowitz went 1-for-3 with 2 runs. Stoudemire went 1-for-2 with 2 runs and 2 walks. Myers an 0-for-2 day. Jackson Ruest had the single with an RBI, also walked and scored. And then Ty Broughton with an 0-for-1 day. Chase Herndon with a 1-for-3 day with 2 runs and an RBI, as Post 14, 9 runs, 10 hits, and 2 errors, as the Hornets now improve to 12-5 on the season and make it 3 straight wins as they come back in this one and win 9-8 over Vienna Post 180 and sweep the doubleheader. Before we sign off, Dylan, any final thoughts? I see you putting your headset back on.
Well, I think both games, it was just, I'm sure, Coach Tobin put it well in his post-game comments there that just both games, it was kind of a case where the starting pitching for Vienna was really good, but once they got him got those starters up in their pitch count. They were able to get to them, and then the bullpen couldn't hold those leads for Vienna, and the bats came alive. Like we say, a lot of talent up and down the lineup. They always do well. It just took them a while, both of these games, into the 6th and 7th inning.
Before we sign off, another reminder that our office will be closed all next week, so no Eastern Panhandle talk, no sports mix as well due to the holiday in the middle of the week. We hope you enjoy the 4th of July as well and be safe this weekend and next weekend. Your final score in Game 2, Berkeley Post 14-9, Vienna Post 180-0. For Spencer Dupuis, Nick Verzolini, and Dylan Bishop, I'm Colin McLaughlin signing off here. This has been American Legion Baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
You've been tuned into American Legion Baseball for the continued excitement of high school, college, and Major League Baseball. Keep it tuned to 106.5 FM, AM 740, Comcast Cable Channel 10, and online at talkradiowrnr.com.